This is cool. These flags from my last videos belong to the Chartists. The Chartist movement was Britain's first mass working class political movement. The Chartists organised 3 great petitions to Parliament. The first petition, organised in 1839 by the London Working Men's Association, came about because every institution, Parliament, church, police, courts, they all kept siding with people who had property and power, money. Workers in Britain faced hunger, imprisonment, exile to a colony, or even death if they resisted. But they watched the wealth that they created fund aristocratic luxury. So while they lived in slums and coughed up coal dust, the landlords and factory owners lived in a parallel universe. New money mill owners who paid starvation wages built country manors with blonde grass. Townhouses in Mayfair and Belgravia and out in Bath were being built to have dozens of servants and chandeliers and imported wine. They were going fox hunting and having season balls and wearing silk from China. They were notorious for debauchery. It's well documented in the era. The bought and paid for newspapers of the time might have been downplaying the exploitation, but people were not stupid and they were not happy. The first Chartist petition to Parliament had 1.25 million signatures. Parliament rejected it. The anger spills out as the Newport Rising. So the second petition, just 3 years later, has 3.5 million signatures. It is 6 miles of paper when unrolled and weighed 300 kilograms. It's rejected again. So workers respond with the 1842 general strike, and 500,000 people march across Britain. 1848 comes the third petition. This one has 6 million signatures. Parliament tries to discredit it, trying to say that some of these names must be false. But historians have confirmed that they were genuine. It was delivered to Parliament on the 10th of April 1848. This is the height of what we just think was a French Revolution, but was all across Europe. At this point, the British government is afraid of an insurrection. Millions of people gather in Kennington Common, and the authorities flood the capital with police and soldiers. The person in power at this time in history is Sir Robert Peel, who founded the Metropolitan Police. Maybe now you know why. He was preparing London for war. The Met was established to be the civilian arm to disrupt these radicals. Their role included spying on Chartist meetings, paying informers, raiding Chartist press offices, censoring editorial. At Kennington Common, alongside the British Army, they deployed 150,000 special, paid policemen. Peel's police embodied the ruling class fear that without constant surveillance and suppression, Britain's majority might actually seize power. After the crushing at Kennington, they start to systematically dismantle Chartism. Dozens of key leaders, including Ernest Jones and William Cuffey, were arrested and imprisoned. Newspapers are raided and shut down, and the police and the Home Office start to use infiltrations to preempt any uprisings. A lot of the Chartists were then exiled to Australia. What they did to Fergus O'Connor, who was one of their most charismatic leaders, speaks to British establishment sadism. He was first elected as an MP, but then it's positioned that he quickly declined into erratic behaviour and mental illness. So they shattered the movement's momentum by making a scandal of this person who was leading it. It's smart, it's evil, it's so evil and manipulative, but it's smart because it feels like they just fell apart. But that's not true, they were violently crushed. But the legacy of Chartism in Britain never died. In 1858, property qualifications for MPs were abolished. In 1872, secret ballot was introduced. In 1885, redistribution acts create more equal constituencies. In 1911, payment for MPs was introduced. Now working class people can participate properly. In 1918, universal male suffrage. And in 1928, universal female suffrage. The Chartist spirit has inspired generations of trade unions and cooperatives and socialist clubs, even if the reforms are being delivered in fragments. And no matter how violent the military gets, the millions of people who keep signing and marching and bleeding for Britain have been winning slowly against the elites.